What's up, CCT? It's your main man, Joe Blackburn. Hey, a couple times, I've been live like 3 times in the last week, so it's kind of been fun. It's like the good old days when I was able to go live with all the guys, on a pretty regular basis. Today, I'm doing usually kind of an odd time, I know, a little earlier than I'd like to do, but our man, the guy I'll be interviewing, Nawid Habib, he's been on here before. He's been on CCT live before with his project ICO HeadStart. But there's been some really cool news. Hey, Miranda. There's been some really cool news with his project, and that's legitimately they've got a partnership with the Hard Rock Hotels and some of the sub companies that, and he'll talk about this. It's really special. It's one of those legitimate things that crypto space has been able to step in finally and get some bigger companies involved in this capacity. So I'm really excited about him explaining this. What's going on, Jordan? Good to see you, man. What's up to everybody who's watching? But I'm going to go ahead and invite him on. But just a little bit more about Nawid is this guy is really genuine as a person. He's become a friend of mine. November, I think October, November is when he came on, and back then, they were just a startup, and now they've been able to progress this company to something that's, now partnering with one of the most well-known brand name hotels in the world. I would say, Hard Rock's got even the ICO that Hard Rock's gonna be doing is called the Rock Token, and so anyways, he's gonna explain the details of that, and I don't want to speak for him, but this is really grabbed my attention. I've been following their Telegram for quite some time now, and to kind of see the progression of where they were to what they've done, it doesn't surprise me because Nawid's he's been an entrepreneur and someone who's been involved in tech for a very long time. But all right, Nawid, I know you're watching, I know you're ready, so I'm gonna invite you on now. In the meantime, I'm gonna get me a swig of Gatorades. I wish Gatorade was sponsoring me. That would be pretty cool. What's up, Nawid?
Hi, Joe. How are you doing?
Hey, welcome back to CCT Live, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
For sure, for sure. Well, it's a pleasure. Pleasure's all mine. Just real quick, I see he got in. Sven, good to see you, man. How's it going? Over there is the one of the heads over at the Netherlands page. Daniel,
Hi,
I
Sven.
see you. All right. Welcome back, as I said already. Why don't you go ahead and just say hello and introduce yourself real quick and who your company is, and just kind of give a brief overview of the basics of what you're doing.
Of course. My name is Nawid Habib. I'm one of the founders and CEO of ICO HeadStart. In my last video, I already explained you guys that what we do is we select, screen, and certify ICOs. We are looking for the best of the best in the market. And in 2016, we started developing our platform. In 2017, we did our ICO, which was successful. And the last couple of months, we have been screening, doing the due diligence and compliance for a lot of ICOs which wanted to be listed on our platform. And now we're here, and we have a fantastic project, the Residence Club at the Hard Rock Hotels, with a venture capital from Brazil. And we think it's an amazing opportunity for us to bring such a big name into the crypto market.
I completely agree with that. And number one, congratulations, man. I haven't heard anybody else even remotely partner with this unless they were with anybody of this size, let alone the exposure and the legitimacy that it brings to the crypto space. Now, as we spoke about before, you kind of were able to explain to me the correlation between the Hard Rock Hotel, the venture capitalist investments, and the Regency Club. So why don't you kind of put all those names together so we can kind of understand it on a little bit more of a basic level?
Of course, VCI is the biggest venture capital from Brazil, from the BRIC countries, and they have a 20-year contract with Hard Rock Hotels. And at the moment, we have an exclusive contract as ICO HeadStart to do their ICO. We did everything from A to Z for them, and they have a 20-year contract with Hard Rock Hotel, an exclusive contract with an option for 20 more years. And this is the first of 6 projects. If this goes successfully, when this goes successfully, we will have 6 other projects following, and 2 are in negotiation. And eventually, this could lead to a $1 billion real estate project.
Absolutely. Okay, so and that kind of comes to my next question, which was, and I'll get to how you made this next. Like, how did you make this happen? But we'll get to that next. But I like that you kind of, you've pinpointed the real estate market in this capacity, along with a big name like Hard Rock and the Rock Token, which is coming out. Amazing. I mean, I love the name too. But
Thank you.
Kind of explain the reasoning behind the real estate ventures and why you guys were able to select each other, I guess would be a good way to say it, but why this appealed so much to what ICO Head Start's vision is.
Definitely. So the last 2 years, I've been traveling a lot in Asia, in Europe, in the United States. Attended a lot of blockchain events, was a speaker on a lot of blockchain events and panels, and met a lot of experts also within this industry. And I saw actually the market becoming more mature,
Sure.
bigger players stepping in, family offices, venture capitalists, hedge funds, institutional investors getting on board. And we also saw, of course, every one of us saw the last year how the crypto market had a big boost, momentum, and the last half year it has been pretty quiet actually. But I started also seeing a shift towards people who said that we need more stability in the market, more security in the market, and more usability to get the masses on board. And I became a big believer of the asset-backed cryptocurrencies. And one of the biggest asset groups is, of course, gold and real estate. So
Sure.
that's why I started searching for projects which could fit this industry. And in Singapore last year, I was one of the speakers on the Millionaire Asia event, which was about blockchain and cryptocurrencies. And there I met the person who's part of a $1 billion fund, and they actually gave me the opportunity to get to the venture capital in Brazil and to get a look at this project.
That's incredible. So really, I mean,
Definitely.
and that was just one of these, handshake opportunities where you got to meet the right person. And Singapore is such a hub right now for a lot of things in blockchain, just
Definitely.
in general. But the tech isn't just limited to blockchain. And so there's a lot of really good opportunities. But now we're seeing so many of these conferences and so many things. In fact, I was on the phone with my good friend Jorgen, who I did the Crypto House with today. And Jorgen is actually during a similar, I don't know if you're familiar with the Crypto House at all, Nawid, but what we did was we were able to kind of unconference, consensus, because consensus had become so centralized. But what we were able to do is, and I made so many great relationships at this, essentially it was a unconference, and then it was an after party for us, and they're doing the same thing over in Singapore now. But it's just so many people are attracted to that area. I'm so glad that it worked out for you, but it doesn't surprise me at all because
Definitely.
number one, I know you now, and I've known you for some time. But number two, because what ICO HeadStart is really, I can look at a lot of the projects that I thought were going to be great because the idea was so great. And the people that I know, well, a lot of these companies now have made money and they're not nearly as motivated. They raise so much, in a certain area or within a certain project. And now the motivation just, they really don't have to do anything. No one's holding them accountable outside of pissed off token holders, but
Definitely.
say,
And we need to also adapt. The market also needs to adapt to that. We are used to having fast messages, a lot of fast news, fast market
gains.
growth. Fast gains indeed. And now we see that it's not always like that. It cannot be every day a party. So we need to adapt ourselves. The market is becoming more mature, but I think it's for the better.
Well, I think it speaks wonders about ICO HeadStart just in general, that, in a time period where so many companies and so many projects are just being squeezed out right now and just suffocated just based on lack of development. And now they've lost a lot of their value in Ethereum because the market dropped so much. But for you guys to stand up above that, and your team to actually not just, sustain and hold on tight and just hope the wind doesn't blow you away. No, you've built on top of your foundation, and now you maybe secured the biggest, and most credible crypto deal of all time, which to me, it's not just a benchmark. It's something that others need to follow suit on, and how you've been able to do that. Now, let's kind of switch gears a little bit. From ICO HeadStart, you have the MOAT token, MOAT, mother of all tokens, if I remember correctly. Is that right?
Exactly.
Right.
That's correct.
So tell me the correlation between the project and how that works for the MOAT holders and, within what ICO HeadStart. And then let's kind of talk about the Rock token a little bit. What is that going to do and how are investors going to, what would be a reason for Joe Blackburn to be interested in this project outside of the Hard Rock name?
And so, first of all, our token, the MOAT, is actually a token which will show all these projects and the combined value of all the projects which will be listed on our platform. So in the case of Hard Rock and the Rock token, for every 5 Rock tokens, the investors will get 1 MOAT extra. So,
Sure.
and we will get, we have a certain percentage of tokens from this project. And once this project is listed on the exchange, we are able to exit these tokens, and we are going to buy back moat from from the exchanges. Cool. And in this way, we will bring value to our community members and to our token holders.
Absolutely. All right. So they kind of work hand in hand, obviously, and not just for this token particularly, but for the following one. You know, and this might be a little harder of a question, and you know, I don't necessarily know if it's been answered publicly on my channel at all. But you know, so it seems like buying the ROC token, you know, you're also going to get moat tokens, and you can choose to hold on to that ROC token and the moat token, or you may be buying back moat tokens, or you can sell the ROC token, you know, but that can also cause a drop in the market too, right? At least for the ROC tokens, are they tell me, kind of alleviate those concerns for me.
So first of all, how we bring, how does the VCI bring value to the ROC token? Every year, 10% per year of the total funding will be will go into a buyback of the ROC token, and these tokens will be burned. So it will go off the market. And also 20% of the net profit of this project will go back into buyback program, and those will be also burned off the market. Wow. And we have, besides that, we have a fractioning. That means that when people are part of this project, they actually own a certain percentage of this fractional percentage of the whole project for a certain amount of weeks per year. And in this way, we have a tokenization model where we can bring continuously, first of all, from the funding share, we bring profit to the token holders, and secondly, from the net profit of the company, we bring value to the token holders. Sure. Okay, and that was a good answer. Now,
Explain. Now, it makes sense. But I'll say this: it's starting to sound a little bit like a stock, huh?
Yeah, this particular project is a security. So this is for bigger investors. At the moment, we are having a private sale, and later on we will have a public sale. But this will be for accredited investors in this case, sure. In this specific project which we are launching.
Well, I will go ahead, and I was going to ask you this question, but I don't know the answer, so I'm going to try to steal your thunder a little bit. What I like so much about the ROC token and this project is that you're doing it without the banks, right? And this is one thing that we've all, you know, as crypto, and I'm going to let you kind of expound on this, but I'm proud to be able to sit here and say, I'm paying attention to this project because you're not going through, or they are not going through the traditional model of borrowing money to build. They are literally trying to do this without ever having to touch a bank. What a example that this might be. And a lot of people may start following suit. And guess what? That's kind of the beginning of that revolution that we've all been talking about. And so that's one of the most special things about this, in my opinion, is that, of course, the Hard Rock name is very credible, and it brings a lot of weight and carries a lot of momentum for not just ICO HeadStart, but for crypto in general. But also, this is what the revolution was all like. If you really believe in that, you know, and what many of us, especially some of my really good friends that have been in for a long time, they got into crypto because they thought it was the revolution. And I don't want to get too deep into my own philosophy on that, but it is something to be spoken on and something to be proud of as crypto. This is allowing no banks to be used, right? And this is going to set a standard in a lot of ways. All right, so go ahead and expand. I had my moment to talk, and I'm very, very proud of for you guys, but also for crypto now, you know, because something like this is happening. A big, credible name isn't using banks because they can use crypto. Definitely.
And we hope that this will be a huge success. So many bigger names will follow after this name, the Hard Rock. I hope that we will have in the next coming months a lot of other bigger names, and I believe it will be, because they will hear about this, they will see this on the press release, on the media channels such as yours, and then from there on, I think we will attract a lot of more credible parties within our community, and that's what we need to get out of the situation where we are in right now.
Absolutely. And you know, something like Hard Rock, they're not going to have a problem pitching investors. They already have investors, number one, that because it's, I believe, I don't know this for a fact, but I can imagine that they are publicly traded. I know VCI, the venture capitalists.
VCI
I know
is a publicly
exactly
listed
right.
company. Indeed.
and as this is an asset-based cryptocurrency and blockchain project, that there is real value behind this that they can pitch investors. And it really changes the mindset of a lot of these people who may never have heard, but now, of course, I'm sure Hard Rock will be all about, the promotion of this blockchain project and start bringing, some certainty to a market that, especially outside of crypto, is already perceived as uncertain and volatile. Well, this kind of changes that a little bit. Well, I mean, what are you hearing from internally from them? Are they really excited? Are they hearing a lot of
They are extremely excited. We are every day in contact with them. For them, of course, this is also a new thing. It's completely new, being involved as a publicly listed company in an ICO and in a project such as this.
Can I interview them? Can you give me an interview? I would love to talk to them, like one of their CEOs or somebody up top.
Of course. I can definitely ask them to join you on an interview.
It would be really cool to kind of have them on where I can pick their brain too. Like, what are you thinking? Like, come on, man. Like, what if the crypto's like getting all this bad news? You're still going to pursue this, huh? I would love to ask these questions.
Yes.
So anyways, keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt.
One of those things. So one of the things I also wanted to discuss is that, or to talk about, is that I believe that projects such as the Residence Club at the Hard Rock will have a lot of impact in our communities in the cryptocurrency market. I believe that in the coming years, we will have a lot of asset-backed cryptocurrencies on the market. In my opinion, it will be $1 trillion business the coming years. So I have big expectations, but I also know that this will contribute to a more stable and more secure market. And we need a more stable and secure market for merchants to get in. And if we can get a lot of merchants in, I believe that the masses of the people will follow us. And that will be amazing for every one of us in the industry.
Sure. And that also leads me into the question I was going to ask you next, which is what is your opinion that the crypto communities, what is their thoughts? Excuse me. What are their thoughts, or what are you hearing, and what do you perceive their expectations are going to be? Like, this is really cool. I know you're probably getting great feedback right now, but let's kind of look into the future too. What do you see the shift at, including ICOs in general? I mean, is this kind of setting the new standard where people won't be looking at some of these smaller venture capitalist, opportunities, but they're going to be looking at these bigger ones, similar to turning into a stock market? And is that a good thing?
Definitely. I think, you said it yourself. They will be looking to more credible projects, and they will be more skeptical about the smaller projects.
Sure.
And this is something which will benefit us 100%. I believe that this will make the market more mature, and the market more stable and more secure. And if we have a market which is more stable, more secure, we will be able to bring the masses in. At the moment, you have 10% of the people who are the non-believers that see cryptocurrencies as a total scam. You have the other 10% on the other end of the scope, which says that we will overthrow the banks and the dollar will not exist anymore. And you have 80% of the people, and that's the masses of the people, who do understand cryptocurrencies and who do know that they can bring benefits to them. The only thing that they're searching for is a more secure and a more stable market, so they dare to go into that market. And also, we need merchants to get that 80% on board. So I believe that the asset-backed cryptocurrency market will contribute to get those masses of people on board.
I think we're in complete agreement. I do have some negatives toward that, but that's more of a philosophical thing, because I don't want us to get too corporate. However, it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. We need some stability, but we also need, to maintain.
Yeah, we need bridge building.
Very true. Very true.
Yes.
Okay, so let's kind of transition over back to ICO HeadStart and Moat and a few other things. As you've mentioned before, this is going to turn into potentially 6 different projects. You guys have the sole contract as the cryptocurrency side of the crypto side of this goes. But is this kind of what the ambitions of ICO HeadStart were always? And do you continue have you guys made the decision? Is your team more focused on the bigger projects such as Hard Rock or something else that would be comparable to that? Or is there a focus on how you guys are doing things? Or no, you're just taking it one by one as people apply? As far as projects go.
We started off in 2016 by saying we want really the absolute, the creme de la creme of the industry. We are searching, and we had a lot of applications of projects who wanted to be listed. And amongst all those projects, we started with this one as a first one. And we are definitely aiming of having this type of quality projects on our platform.
Agreed.
We always said in our videos, we want the top 3% of the best ICOs on the market. And that's definitely what we are aiming to deliver to our community.
Sure. I agree with that. How many different ICOs did you go through before you? Obviously, it probably wasn't much of a decision once Hard Rock Hotels was there. But
so,
you know, before you started that,
yeah.
I mean, how many did you pick through?
Yeah, I have met over 1,000 companies. So myself, owners,
Wow.
and development teams.
Wow.
We have had over 300 applications, of which 150 were legit, really good projects. And of those projects, this is the absolute top.
Wonderful.
So we have done a lot of screening. It took us, I believe, 9 months to get here. So it was a long journey, a lot of work to put into it, because it's not easy to get a publicly listed company to work with you, and especially when there are such a big name, contracts with such a big name.
Yeah, well, I think it's really special how you've been selective already, but you know, even in this down market, you stuck to your guns, you didn't panic, you did what you thought, you know, was the right thing, and you have been doing those things. All right, so look, there, even in this group, and although, you know, like I said, it's kind of an odd time, and we talked about this before the video, and I messaged you about, you know, we may not have the live viewers, but of course, hopefully people will watch the video afterwards. It's such a really cool project, and there's so many really cool things happening with it. I mean, it sparked my interest, but I already knew what you guys stood for, your team stood for early on, because I had built that relationship with you and over time. But, you know, there are some moat holders in this, and talk to them specifically. Give, like, what's the confidence? I mean, obviously they should be feeling very good, but how does this affect the confidence actually of the moat token itself?
Definitely. So with this project, we think we will have, we will reach a much more bigger community. We will create a much more bigger community, and those community members will be definitely interested in becoming a moat token holder. So in a very short time, we will also be listed on exchanges. We are already accepted on exchanges.
Oh, okay, cool,
we only need to push the button, and then we will be people will be able to trade the moat token. Once that's done, I believe that they will definitely feel the benefits of this project, because it gives us just a lot of exposure, and that exposure will definitely lead into a bigger value for our token.
No doubt.
On the market.
I have to commend you on that too. Nawid, I think it's really cool that you guys, your team, was able to be very patient before listing. And this is something to consider, everybody. And I know much probably to the disdain of at times to some of your token holders that you guys have not been listed yet, but it really shows a lot of what you stand for. You're not here for your team to dump their tokens. You're not here for you personally to dump tokens. This is something bigger than that. Clearly, it shows by, you know, the credible and the value in the name that you're bringing on with Hard Rock and Regency and the VCI group. But, you know, I have to stand here and say, you've done it right. You waited, and you did it for literally the right reasons. So thank you for doing that for the space and setting an example, man. And I hope that a lot of other companies come and follow your model. You know, don't just have an idea. Don't just have this white paper. You know, go and execute. And then, you know, show your community that you care still, you know, be involved, and then list when the time's right and the momentum's, you know, right. You know, I see a lot of tokens that, you know, go through the ICO, and then next thing you know, and even things that, I mean, I bought a lot of different, you know, of projects and bought into a lot of different projects in my life. And I've watched as, you know, the hype and the momentum of the ICO turns into, now they're listed, but guess what? Everybody who wanted to buy bought during the ICO. And the value and what people perceive has changed, because then you would have a lot of hype from especially, you know, I mean, just early on in crypto, not just last year, but 2016, and then really the beginning of 2017 is when the ICO movement really took off. We saw and we witnessed FOMO constantly. I FOMO'd. I learned some really, I'm sitting on some really difficult lessons to this day, right? And, and you know, if we don't watch and see projects like yourself, and then, you know, who you're affiliating with, it kind of gives a signal when ICO HeadStart's dealing with somebody, you should pay attention, you know, and that's what I hope you maintain. And I wish you the best of luck too, of course.
Thank you very much, Joe. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank
Yes.
you,
All right.
definitely. And it is for every member. It's just be patient. When you are in a good project, they will release their token on the right time, and that's very important. Everybody can release their token immediately after the ICO, but if you are in a really good project, they will take care of you and they will be very patient and delivered up to their promises. That's very important.
Absolutely. And also your community seems to be very strong. I do follow your Telegram. I saw Nate was watching. If he's still watching, maybe he can post the link for y'all's Telegram so people can start, just at least, if anything, start paying attention and keeping up with the updates. Nevertheless, hey, I'm going to let you have the last few minutes. If there's anything we missed, you know, sometimes I forget to ask questions that I'd written down or, you know, whatnot, but go ahead. It's your stage for a couple minutes.
No, thank you very much. I would like to thank everybody for being with us, of course, and follow our Telegram channel, and see you soon. Thank you very much, Joe.
Sure. And also, don't forget, go call those Hard Rock folks and be like, yo, this dude, Joe, wants to interview you. Send me a message. Let's just lock this down today. Send me a Google invite. We'll put it on the calendar. All right, man.
Thank you.
Until next time.
Have a great day.
Hey, CCT, give the guys some love. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.